Hello, my name is Lisa Glover, and today I'm going to talk about how I apply laser cutting to my art process. And in this case, I will be making a welcome sign. So I start out by making an initial sketch of what I want to make in Autodesk Sketchbook on my tablet. And I want it to look kind of modern. And so once I have my sketch of my letters, I try to identify the right tool. In this case, I want it to look a little bit like I'm using a calligraphy pen. And so I'll thicken up the letters once I'm happy with their general size and positions. And then I'll go about just making the letters look a little bit nicer altogether. I want to make some succulents out of felt, and so I'll put those on top of the welcome sign. And then I also want to laser cut some monstera leaves. They're pretty popular right now, and I thought for my friend who really likes plants that it would be a good look for a welcome sign for her new house. Once I've gotten the first leaf down, I make a couple more. I've noticed that they have kind of a heart shape to them, and then they have wider holes towards the center that get thinner towards as you go out towards the end of the leaf. And they're also pointy on one end and more rounded on the other end of each individual part of each leaf. So I just went about cleaning those areas up to make it look more natural. Now I can arrange all of the leaves, and I can even add a couple more little succulents that I'll make out of felt. I'm taking a second look at the letters and cleaning up some edges that I had missed earlier, and now it's time to laser cut. I'm going to laser cut these out of plywood, and so I just put the plywood in the machine, load the design into the glowforge app, and then start cutting. The funny thing about using the laser cutter to design with my art is that actually laser cutting things is one of the easiest parts. It takes a lot longer to design something than it does to cut it. It's a pretty simple machine once you've learned how to use it. Your biggest risk probably is fire and not cutting through the material all the way. The leaves turned out great on the first run, but my welcome sign didn't cut out, the welcome letters didn't cut out all the way, so I had to run those a second time. Once I'm finished, I close down the laser room at the Sturbridge project, and I head on back to my house so I can make this sign a reality. I'm lucky to live close enough to the Sturbridge project where they have a glowforge and other machines, and so I use that quite often. Once I get back, I assemble the pieces of my sign just to see that they're the right size for the circle that I'd made earlier. I then paint the circle, and I'm also going to paint the letters here, and just using some paint that I already had laying around the house. Once I have everything painted and it's dried, I put the hardware onto the back of my sign. I have it on a piece of felt so I don't damage the surface of it while I'm hammering into it. And I forgot my normal hammer, so I was using a wooden mallet that I had made a while ago. And it wasn't the most efficient thing ever, but it worked. And I added some little felt feet to the bottom of it just so that way it wouldn't scratch the wall. Once I'm happy with the arrangement of all of my cutout pieces that I've painted, I add glue to them so that way they'll stay in place. And I just use some hot glue for this. It's a little bit messy and it leaves some silly little strings, but just for a quick sign, it's not too bad. I'm still pretty new to sign making, if you can't tell, and so I'm looking to learn better supplies to use, and probably wood glue would be better, especially if I clean up the underside of the letters. And now I have my sign in place in the hallway. And I'm not especially happy with it, honestly. It's a little bit messy. The colors kind of scream 90s Aloha theme, And that wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but that's part of the art process. It's not always perfect and things don't turn out how you always intend them to, and that's okay.